Yama owi akwa baba Mansa Media College. Mansa Media College a school power a TV so any radio so dwumadie. Yaso ye e wo Kumase atonsu. Baby a uwo bia opese oba Mansa Media College a. Na be hu dwumadie yedi ne hono a yentie dwumadie yedi no Mansa Media College.
Say usua bribi wo media mu.
Now, in the meantime, let me just introduce
the Punch TV.
We'll be joined by Deputy Minister of Trade and then also current Member of Parliament for Inshai. So he's also the incumbent going for the December elections. And then same for Sam George, Ningo Prampram, Member of Parliament, very vociferous. And good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning.
Yeah, yesterday I scanned you in the house. You were not too enthused about the sauna because you were just walking in. I thought you should have been enthused.
Good morning to our viewers, and
yeah.
let me say Happy New Year. I think this is the first time this year
you're coming here.
I'm on the show. It's our prayer and hope that this year is better than the last, and that this year ends with the election of John Dramani Mahama as president of the Republic of Ghana to rescue the country. Yesterday, the president came to deliver his illusion of state.
He came to deliver what?
His illusion of state address.
I see. All right.
Some have called it a state of nothingness address. The president is completely out of sync with the Ghanaian people. Your viewers, my constituents, and the good people of Ghana, and yourself included, know what the true state of the economy is or the state of the nation is. The president was silent on a number of issues that worry and bother the ordinary man. Going into the 2024 elections, the number one issue on the mind of every Ghanaian is actually jobs and unemployment.
The bread and butter issues.
Absolutely.
Okay. We'll dig deeper into them.
He's lost on all of that. So yeah.
All right. So it's a birthday on the show, and Bernard Monaicha birthday. Please put his picture up. We're celebrating you because when we call on you, you're always available. Bernard Mona, great guy. Great guy. You can see him with his Che Guevara beret. Happy birthday to you from all of us right here at Media General and TV3 New Day as well. We're grateful always. Now, let's get the insert running. First from the president shortly, just short one. And then we'll have Professor Bokpin also reacting subsequently. All of them should be short, and then we'll start with Sam George.
The executive power of the state is vested in the President of the Republic. He or she is the executive. There's no ambiguity about where the buck stops when it comes to responsibility for what happens in the government. It stops with the president. He or she has ultimate responsibility. It would be an unwise president that would pretend to have all the answers and refuse the advice of his officials. But the fact remains that the president holds the executive power. The cabinet, the ministers of state,
the Punch TV.
Advisory manner.
Securing IMF program is not an achievement. It is a bit sad that with the resources and all that we've had, I mean, this is what our State of the Nation address would contain. I think it's a bit sad. Of course, going to the IMF is not to say it's a bad thing. Even relatively well-governed countries go to the fund, right? Some go for program support, policy instruments, and the rest of them, standby arrangements, and the rest of them. But the manner in which Ghana went for the 17th IMF program really it's interesting, and that is why I'm saying that doesn't merely securing that program doesn't mean achievement.
Mr. Speaker, I believe we can say with certainty that in the tourism sector, Ghana is finally realizing her long-promised potential. Starting from the events and excitement of the year of return in 2019, Ghana has truly become an attractive tourist destination, with visitors' numbers increasing every year. December in GH is now an established and increasingly attractive phenomenon, which brings visitors to our country in the month of December and has changed the events calendar around the Christmas holiday season in Accra and many other towns. Mr. Speaker, for the first time since the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park was constructed in 1992, the government has undertaken the full modernization and rehabilitation of the facility. Since the commissioning of the modernized park in July 2023, the number of domestic and international visitors has risen dramatically. A national newspaper reporting on activities at the revamped park had a screaming headline which said, "Akufo-Addo resurrects Nkrumah." That gave me pause for a moment. But on reflection, I decided I would accept it, be it a compliment or criticism or an addition to the collection of sayings by elders.
And that was an elaborate speech. Indeed, I was there. We brought you the live coverage. I did see one of our lead panelists today, Sam George. What's your initial reaction to this?
Well, Roland, like I said when you introduced me, the president clearly is out of sync. He doesn't understand what's going on in the country. He's living in a bubble. We'd always said that the president has checked out already from the country. He's handed over power. He's literally a figurehead right now. He doesn't understand what is happening with the Ghanaian people. The real state of the nation is not what he has come to talk about, but it's about the unprecedented rates of unemployment that we have in the country, the unprecedented corruption and waste that we see in the country, and the unprecedented economic mess and hardship that Ghanaians are saddled with. I mean, yesterday was so obvious how out of sync the president is and how dishonest his submission was that at a point in time I had to help him out.
Oh, how?
Because he was trying to steal John Mahama's project, the Tema to Mpakadan Railway project. That's a project that was started under John Mahama. The funds were secured by John Mahama. The approval from Parliament was in 2016 with Fifi Kwete as Minister for Transport. Now the president comes to say that it is his project, and he couldn't even pronounce Mpakadan. There was Makadan, Makapa, and I shouted Mpakadan, and even with that, he couldn't pronounce it.
You can say it's a slip of tongue.
What's the slip of tongue? You've forgotten what they did in this country with Professor Mills and the company. You've forgotten? We're in this town. You claim you own the project, yet you don't even know the name of the town the project is in. That's how dishonest and untruthful our president is. But you see, when the president comes to stand there and talks about saying that the macroeconomic indicators are once again, I'm quoting him, he says generally, the macroeconomic indicators are once again pointing in the right direction. This was on page 13 of the 20 of the sort of page 13.
Yeah.
You know, the president and his mate, Aplanke Baumia, clearly are not just dishonest, but very untruthful people. The president does not have any regard for us. First and foremost, every single economic matrix that you want to use to measure economic stability and economic performance, compare John Mahama December 2016 and compare now that we're talking, are in complete opposites.
The Punch TV.
I'll give you a few of them. The currency was 4 cedis, 3.8, 4.0, thereabout, let's say 4 cedis in December 2016. Today, as we speak, it is 13 Ghana cedis. And don't forget that for over a year, Ghana has not serviced any of its external debt. Yet the cedi, in fact, in the last week, the cedi moved from 12.3 to 13. That's what has happened. And so how the president can say that we are in a positive or we're moving in the right direction from 4 cedis to 13 cedis. And for us to just understand this, yourself and let's just assume that your salary is 5,000 Ghana cedis. And if you earn 5,000 Ghana cedis, you are well paid in Ghana today. 5,000 Ghana cedis in 2016. Forget inflation and all of those things. Let's just assume it's the same 5,000 Ghana cedis. In 2016, by 4, divided by 4 was what? That would give you about $1,250. Today, 5,000 cedis by the 13 will give you what? 5,000 divided by 13. $384. So your salary under John Mahama that was equivalent to $1,250 is now equivalent to $384, less than $400. How President Akufo-Addo will look you, Roland, in the face and say to you that the economy is moving in the right direction. You go judge him. You were buying pure water at how much under John Mahama? 5 pesos. Today, how much is pure water? How much was a loaf of bread under John Mahama? Today, how much is it? If your 5,000 Ghana cedis you wanted to use to build, under John Mahama, your 5,000 Ghana cedis would have comfortably bought you, at that time, a bag of cement was 20 cedis. So 5,000 divided by 20 would have bought you 250 bags of cement. Today, a bag of cement is 90 Ghana cedis. It will buy you only 55 bags of cement, the same salary. Yet Akufo-Addo and Bawumia look us in the face and tell us that everything is well. The rate of inflation in 2016 December was 15.4%. Today, it stands at 23.5%. Food inflation alone is 27.1%. In fact, in December 2022, inflation went as high as 54%. Yet the president tells us that things are in a positive direction. In 2022 alone, per the World Bank's own statistics, 800,000 Ghanaians fell into poverty. These were Ghanaians who were not poor before Akufo-Addo. But he and Bawumia, his head of economic management teams, poor management of the economy, made almost 1 million Ghanaians go into poverty. Yet the president looks those people in the face and tells them that we're moving in the right direction. In fact, for the second year running, Ghana has the highest lending rate in Africa. The lending rates in Ghana are higher than Eritrea and Somalia. Somalia has not had a functioning government for years. Libya is in a mess. Mali is a disaster. Yet, Ghana, for the second year running, has lending rates of 35%, the second highest. In fact, the highest.
The Punch TV.
In 2016, it was 25%. Public debt. In 2016, our debt to GDP stood at 56%. In 2016, our debt to GDP ratio stood at 56%. Today, as of 2022 December, our debt to GDP stood at a staggering 103%. 103%. I mean, and this has led to us defaulting on our domestic and external debt obligations under Mamudu Bawumia as the head of the economic management team. Never in the history of Ghana has Ghana defaulted on our loans since we started practicing our democracy. Yet the president tells you point blank and looks us in the face and tells us that we are moving in the right direction. Ghana's rating, today, international rating for Ghana is junk. And when they say junk, they mean baller.
You mean with the credit rating agencies?
Yes. With Dr. Bawumia, the planke mate, with him in charge of the economic management of this country, our credit rating is baller status, junk status. That has never happened. When John Mahama was head of the economic management team, we were rated B+. Because of Bawumia's poor management of the economy under Nana Akufo-Addo, Ghana has been locked out of the international capital market. Yet, they tell us that everything is working. Look, the overall GDP growth rate in 2016, when John Mahama was handing over, was 3.6%. At the end of the first 3 quarters of 2023, it had declined to 2.8%. Yet John Mahama had 1 oil well. He had developed 2 more and handed them 3 oil wells. So more revenue, 3 times the revenue that John Mahama had. Yet our growth is 2.8%. The industry sector, and you see, they came and spoke 1D, 1F, and all the things. And I'm happy. The Deputy Minister for Trade is here. Sticker. 1D, 1F. Without 1D, 1F, industry grew 4.3% in 2016. With 1D, 1F, it is growing by negative 1.2, meaning it is retrogressing. Negative 1.2 with 1D, 1F. Without 1D, 1F, it grew at positive 4.3%. In 2023, it grew at negative 1.2. These are not my figures. These are the figures from the appendixes of
but the 1D, 1F industries are there.
Chief. And I'm telling you that Ken Ofori-Atta, who is now designated the Minister for Finance International, because Amin Anta is Minister for Finance local or domestic, came to Parliament with the 2024 figures. And you couldn't fix those figures because the IMF program was ongoing. And I'm saying to you that in 2016, industry without 1D, 1F grew at 4.3% under John Mahama. Under Nana Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia is grown by negative 1.2%. Manufacturing sector under John Mahama in 2016 was growing at 7.9%. Under Mahmoud Bawumia and Nana Akufo-Addo in 2023 grew by negative 1.0. If you look at the construction sector in 2016 grew by 8.4%. Under Nana Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia, it grew by negative 5% in 2023. Nothing is growing positively in this country under these guys. Yet they come and tell you that we are headed in the right direction. Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia have destroyed the fiber of Ghana's economy. They have sent us back to pre-Guggisberg era days because everything is in a reverse gear. And you remember, I stated before on the floor of Parliament when I was debating the 2019 budget statement, I said to them that when they said we were moving forward, as an engineering graduate, I'm taught in Engineering 101 that motion can be positive or negative. And so they have put us in reverse gear. Mahama had put us in gear 1, or Mills started us with gear 1, moved us, or let me even go back and say President Rawlings put us in gear 1. We started moving. Kufuor came, took us to gear 2. Mills came, put us in gear 3. Mahama put us in gear 4, heading for gear 5. Then this, wait. Then the mate and driver Banza show up and say, but why are these people using only the numbers? You know, when you look at your gear stick, you have gear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up to 6. Then you have R, which means reverse. Yeah. They say, why are they using the numbers? Me, I like alphabets. So then they put it in R and then Tiaso. So now George, we are
this
going
is where
back.
Coming.
We are reversing.
Look, the other side of the argument that is always used to counter this sort of argument you're making is that why is it that it looks like there's a certain tendency to discount gains that were made in 2017, 2018, and 2019? What
gains were made in 2017, 2018, 2019? When you take the World Bank report of 2016, when Ghana went into the IMF program in 2015, because under Mahama, we went into an IMF program in 2015. It stated clearly that we're going to grow by 7.8% in 2017 because of the coming on stream of the oil wells that Mahama had worked on. It stated in that report that we'll grow 7.8% and 8.2% in 2018. Go and take, and I can show you evidence of 2018. The rot in Ghana did not start in 2020. It started in 2018. In 2018, Gabi Ochedaku put out a tweet saying Ghanaians should be patient with government because they knew that things were tough, but things would get better. In 2018, in a town hall meeting in Koforidua, Ken Ofori-Atta, who was then Minister for Finance, stated clearly that they knew things were difficult, but asked for time to turn things around. So it is not correct that everything was going smoothly under them, even in 2017 and 2018. Look, let us be clear about this. They should tell you what they did in 2017 or 2018 that led to any of those positive growth.
What was a prudent economic management?
What prudent economic management? the things that you inherited. It's just like Roland. You've built this show up to a certain stage with certain following. If today Media General takes you off and brings somebody who is very incompetent to run the show, the first week of the show, your ratings will still be high. Your numbers are still going to be there because the following has been built. It will take time for the eyeballs to stop following the show because the person is bomb. The person is like Bawumia. You understand me? It will take a certain period for that, the effect of that person's work to then be seen.
What about COVID in Russia and Ukraine?
Why?
Exogenous factors.
Why? COVID, the virus was formed here in Ghana. China, Italy lost over 3 million of its citizens. Italy's economy is not in
Well,
tatters like
supply
this.
chains were disrupted.
Why? Ghana is the only country that gets supply chains from their place. Why? Russia and Ukraine. Why? Russia is dropping the bombs in Alajo. Or Ukraine is firing its rockets into Chebi. How is it that we are not complaining? We are complaining more. We are crying more than the bereaved. But Roland, before you're asking me to wrap up, does it not strike you that in the entire SONA, and I'm happy Stika is here, the president did not address unemployment. He did not address corruption. The president was silent. The entire SONA. He didn't talk about cocoa production. Zero word on cocoa production. The president was completely silent on corruption. The president was completely silent on the forex rates, the depreciation of the cedi. The president was silent on inflation. And most importantly for me, because I'm a young man, the president was silent on youth unemployment. If a president can deliver a State of the Nation address and doesn't speak of corruption because he's the most corrupt president in the history of Ghana, he doesn't speak about cocoa production because his party is involved in Galamsey that is destroying our cocoa farms because party Hiansika. He doesn't speak about the depreciation of the city because his vice president, who is the head of the economic management team, who told us that when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate would expose you, and lied to us that he had arrested the dollar and given the keys to the IGP. Meanwhile, the dollar is dancing. I don't know whether right now it is Amapiano or Skelewu on his head. Right now,
you can't be using some of these invectives and anecdotes.
We are sitting here. The president has not spoken, or Amapiano, one of them. You get it? And the president did not speak about youth unemployment. This is the president who promised the youth of our country jobs.
Please, Sam George.
How can this be the State of the Nation's address?
Yama owi akwa baba Mansa Media College. Mansa Media College a school power a TV so any radio so dwumadie. Yasuye ewo Kumase atonsu baby a uwo bia opese oba Mansa Media College na behu dwumadie yedi ne honmo a yentie dwumadie yedi no Mansa Media College
se usua bribi wo media mu ana opese ohunu bribi biara efa media ho ensu eche kra
Mansa Media College ewo homa
ye wa achechefo a wa kwadiri yie wa adetwemu na in studio ni ye newsroom de editwam wonsam twemu no ye twe bribi ti se kasebo akenkan ni sinicha ni bebura ekeka ho wa multimedia mu nso ya twe bribi ti se sini mfoni asiesie mfoni nitwa ni bebura ekeka ho ye betumi nso aboa ama wo de na otwepe asunya bribi wo nkitahudie adwuma ahodo nyinaa mu esan se ye wo yankasa foni nti abwe biara yama ya adesuafo kwan ma okọ yode ya twe won adesua dan mu no
ahwefo ehu ekame ese obi biara wo le bosomtwe ase enim abakosema efa nsuo ihu menya abofra ketua bi wo ha ono so se onim abakosema efa le bosomtwe ho
abusuafo ye mama kwaba eba Ghana Pages TV so emra so se the trending issues ne ekoso ewo abefo tentan fidie ni so ebesomo Midi na neje wa akode
Mansa Media College. Ya ma o de we hia bia wo nkotahudie mu.